Hi, welcome to Ringside with Kayla. Today I'm here with the newly signed professional boxer, Iriarte. How are you doing today?
What's up, guys? I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. You were raised in Bakersfield. What was it like for you growing up?
In Bakersfield. Originally I was born in the San Fernando Valley, actually in Woodland Hills. But I moved out here at a super young age. Growing up in Bakersfield is pretty calm. It's a lot less traffic than out there in down south. So it's been good. I've just been able to. For me, it's normal. I feel like just wherever you're raised and stuff like that's pretty normal. Just just kind of growing up, just normal things. No, I mean, when I was growing up, I watched a lot of boxing. Like I started boxing at 5 years old, so um, I grew up kind of watching all the boxing fights with my dad and my grandpa and stuff like that, and then getting into boxing myself at the age of five. It was pretty. It's been it's been interesting.
And considering that you had such a successful amateur career, you were a 17-time national champion. What are some of the biggest names that you've been able to spar and share the ring with?
Yeah, it's been a long journey, 300 amateur fights. I turned 20, I'm 20 years old now, and being able to kind of accumulate all the achievements that I have, all the small goals that I put in front of myself, even at a young age, it's just been, a blessing to kind of just, just been a blessing, just the process in itself. Sparring with a lot of big names. We were at the Olympic Center with, Xander Zayat, Vito Malnicki, Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis, a lot of the up and coming stars. It's been amazing, and then being able to get in the ring with former world champion like Brian Castaño and Jose Ramirez. Even at a young age, it's been amazing.
And you have three international medals, and you're a two-time gold medalist. During all that traveling, what was your favorite memory about all that?
My favorite memory, traveling. I've had a couple. I've had a couple. Um, when we went out to Hungary for my first international tournament, um, it was crazy because we got to Hungary and we got in the room and there was no AC in the room, and we're cutting weight, we're all tired, and it's just like we kind of had to make the most of it within my roommates and stuff like that. So we had no AC, it was humid, it was hot, and then even during breakfast time, like we were looking for ice or something cold, and out there ice is actually a luxury, so it was funny to like we didn't have any ice or nothing like cold, so the drinks were like room temperature, and it was just it was an insane experience, but we were able to make the most of it. But traveling and stuff, we can never really leave the rooms or anything because we're fighting. It's kind of like a business trip, I like to call it. So we're just in the room, just relaxing, training, going back to the room, fighting. So it's cool.
So it's really hard to find ice out there. There's no
Yeah,
ice.
well, it was crazy because I didn't know that. I thought like, oh, it's just like here in the U.S. You go, you ask for ice, or they have ice, in the little machines. But out there was just like a little, for me, where they have like the tubs of agua frescas, stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah,
So they just have like that, like a little container with the water. Like I think it was orange juice that they had out there, and it was just like room temperature orange juice just sitting right there. And as a fighter, we cut weight and we're just looking for something like refreshing or something, especially because it was humid out there. And yes, so I didn't know that you actually have to pay for ice out there because it's actually a luxury. So I mean, it opens your eyes to like how privileged it is out here and stuff. So it was interesting.
And whenever you were traveling for all these international competitions, did your parents go with you?
Actually, for the first tournament, I went by myself with the team. My second tournament in the qualifiers, my dad and my uncle headed out there, and then for in the Pan American Games, my family went out to Colombia, and it was cool because I lived that experience from the Pan American Games to them because, like I'm telling you, we don't really get to explore Colombia. We didn't get to explore outside. It was just like, oh, especially because it was during COVID. We just stayed inside, had to just chill inside and cut weight, and then the fights, and then come back, and that was it. But my parents, my mom, my dad, and my sisters were able to head out there and see to the fights. and they said they loved it. They said that they had the best experience, and they said they'd go back. So I mean, they had a good time, but it was cool.
And your dad has been by your side throughout your whole boxing career. What are some of the biggest ways that he's impacted your career and your mindset?
Um, my dad, he's like I mean, like most fighters. Well, it depends. For me, my dad is like the biggest role model for me. He kind of started up at very very humble beginnings in Mexico, and him being able to kind of just progress throughout life little by little. It's been amazing to see, and I just put myself I just see him and make try and make the most out of what I have. Again, he didn't have anything growing up, and me being able to have his help is a big blessing. So just kind of he wakes up at 3 a.m. or 2:30 actually in the morning. He drives out to San Fernando every day from Bakersfield to San Fernando. It's like an hour and 20 minutes, and then he still comes back late and then trains me from 5 and then to 8:30. And he's not eating, going to sleep until 9:30, and he wakes up again at 2:30. So just even seeing that in itself is like a big motivation to me. So he's just one of my role models for sure.
And how did you get into boxing? Like, do you have any other family members that are into it, or you're the first in your family to get it?
Yeah, I'm actually the first. I'm actually the first. My dad, I say he had a friend that had just opened up a boxing gym, and he actually it was just weird because I was watching Karate Kid, and then I asked him if we could go to a karate dojo. I think it's called, right, a karate dojo, and they were closed. So he was like, "Oh no, let's go, like, forget this karate stuff. Let's go ahead and go to the gym." And then it was called Refuse to Lose, and we ended up going, and I think it was on a weekend, so the boxing gym was actually also closed, but my dad had like a Thursday off during the week, and then we ended up like waiting till that next week, and then I went into the boxing gym, and I was 5 years old, and they were like, "Nah, like, get him out of here, he's too small." But I was still like persistent, and I kept like nagging that I wanted to go box. So he ended up taking me back, and the coach was like, "All right, just let him train, see how long he lasts. He'll end up quitting." And but now here we are. So it's cool. It's been a journey.
And do you have any other siblings?
Yeah, I have two. I have an older sister, an older brother, and then a younger sister.
Okay, do any of them box a little bit too, or just you?
No, they don't do any sports actually. I'm the only like athlete in the family, so it's interesting. They're all pretty smart, so they do school and stuff like that. So it's
Okay.
cool.
Also, not too long ago, you recently signed with Sheer Sports. What was the process like beforehand on deciding who you wanted to sign with?
Yeah, it's been it's been an interesting ride for sure, especially kind of just as I was progressing in my amateur career, going to the national and stuff, having a lot of help from different people, and I'm very very grateful for all the people that even helped me along my just along my journey up until signing. It's been cool. It's beforehand I was kind of like in the middle of, okay, do I want to go to the Olympics or do I want to, kind of just make that transition? And it's a big decision because, once you go, or actually, I mean, you can go pro and kind of go back to the Olympics, but for me, it was just like, okay, go to the Olympics or turn pro. And so it wasn't an easy decision, but I had a lot of help. Sheer Sports being one of them, and them kind of just seeing my best interest and kind of looking out for me. It's I really really appreciate the team. I feel like we're gonna make a lot of noise transitioning into the program, and I'm excited for sure.
And I saw that you volunteer with a nonprofit organization called the League of Dreams. Can you tell
Mhm.
me a little bit about that?
Yeah, 100%. So I do like performance training on the side, apart from boxing, and again, it's one of my passions. I don't do it like I do it out of because the kids they have down the spectrum, so they have disabilities, and the League of Dreams is amazing organization that provides the kids with activities that just to give them a little sense of a normal kid experience, a normal whether it's training, whether it's playing games or sports games and stuff like that. I feel like League of Dreams does a fantastic job with giving them that little sense of just a normal experience, just a everyday kid life. And I do my best to kind of go in there, and they're kids on the spectrum. They might be having a off day or something, so being able to go in there and kind of just change their mood, change their day, make their day a little bit better is a fantastic feeling for me. I feel like getting in there and they'll be like, "Oh, Coach Joe, like it's so good to see you," and then they'll tell me if they're having a bad day or something like that. So um, you know, being able to do that is just it's a blessing for sure. And I do it every Saturday, so it's fun. I really love it. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy to see those kids kind of just grow and develop at their athleticism. Even at that, little by little, we test them in the beginning of the cycle, and then we test them at the end of the cycle, and seeing them progress is insane.
And I think that's amazing what you're
Mhm.
doing and being able to make an impact on everyone. And also, my last question for you is being that you've already been boxing for so many years, what do you think is the biggest lesson that you've learned from boxing?
That's a good question. Boxing, boxing in itself, it's challenging. It's not easy. It's big sacrifice. Cutting weight. Just the discipline you have to have in order to if you want to actually succeed. There's a level of discipline, determination, everything that kind of just embodies in this boxing stuff, this boxing lifestyle. So, just a little bit of everything. I feel like my drive, my mentality is just on a different level, and that's kind of what's between the average fighter, the average person. So, um, it's been good, just in my high, even in my high school years, just seeing like normal kids and seeing normal activities that they would do, or just a normal teenage lifestyle. For me, I kind of had to separate myself between that because there was no, going out or going to parties or going to things like that. So, just being able to accept that and be, have a good, head on my shoulders and do the right thing for my career and what was going to benefit me was just, kind of the biggest lesson that I feel like I learned.